I don't know where to start, so I'm just going to. Ugh. Okay. Oh, really? Sounds dreadful. Um, uh, 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 what? Okay, I think I see what this is. Yep, pretty much. Oh, I'm not even. Oh, well, hi, Megan. I wonder what Miss Murphy has to say. The Yaniv scandal is the end product of trans activism. Does inclusivity mean the Canadian state should compel women to handle a penis? Well, I think that Meghan Murphy has a point. Meghan Murphy, many would describe as a TERF. I think she's just a diehard old school feminist. And while I do agree somewhat with some elements of older feminism, I absolutely disagree with modern intersectional feminism, especially the seeming end goal of destroying the fabric of gender and sex and everything connected. Because if someone's personal whim or identity is meant to recodify all language from genitals to gestation to menstruation to breasts to beards to clothes that we wear, that is unraveling the entire fabric of not only science around people's bodies, but also the language of sex, romance, the clothes we wear, the things that we eat, how we dance, the types of colors we like. If you're going to unravel everything around sex and gender to the point that it's completely interpretive, then you're rendering one of the major pillars of our language and society useless. Not just useless, but directly destructive. And that's why I don't like this modern bleh about transgenderism. I think this week I'm going to do my Unit Corner Club on my frustrations around transgenderism and how things have become for us. But anyway, I'd like to read today what Meghan Murphy has to say about old JY here. In some ways, JY is the most perfect gift. Not even Titania McGrath could have dreamed up a more effective character to demonstrate the dangers of gender identity ideology. Who have you heard say things like that before? Unbelievably, though, JY is real. And the truth is that we could have predicted this story. In fact, we did. Until last week, Yaniv could only be referred to by the initials JY. A member of the British Columbia Human Rights Tribunal, Devin Cossagno, had determined that as a transgender woman, Yaniv would be vulnerable to threats and harassment identity were his identity. Published connections with these complaints. Okay, I don't like that sentence. That doesn't have a good flow in English. Ironically, Yaniv, who has been revealed as the perpetrator of harassment, the publication ban on Yaniv's name was lifted this week, yet numerous mainstream outlets have chosen not to report the detail of the complaints or the hearings. However, I have a feeling Miss Murphy is going to do just that, and I wanted to share them with everyone. In 2018, JY filed 13 human rights complaints against female estheticians in the Vancouver area, claiming he was discriminated against because they would refuse to give him a Brazilian on his ball sack. In many cases, JY, who is male and maintains male genitalia. Yeah, how does one maintain male genitalia? Well, I would prefer that they maintain them instead of not maintaining them. Gross. Anyway. In some cases, Yaniv, who is male and maintains male genitalia, used fake Facebook profiles displaying photos of women. In at least one case, he used the profile of a pregnant woman to request the service via Facebook Marketplace. When the estheticians realized he was male, they gave him the finger, basically. And I don't blame them. I would have too. Of course, this will go into detail talking about how people who specialize in waxing genitalia aren't fit to wax the other kind of genitalia. It's just not done. It's like balls are different from a hood and labia majora. It's just different. It's a completely different animal. And to think that one that does only a surgery or a technique on one is just as competent or used to doing it on the other is batshit crazy, and I think everybody knows that. Anyway, moving on. Under normal circumstances, we might assume that any sane person would laugh at the idea of a man attempting to bring over a dozen women to a human rights tribunal because they wouldn't wax his balls. But we are not living under normal circumstances. We are living in a brand new world where men are women the moment they say so, no matter what material reality exists. To question the claim amounts to hate speech and apparently could make one guilty of a hate crime. Here in Canada, Meghan Murphy writes, we seem to have swallowed all that gender identity ideology entails with enthusiasm. We love to think of ourselves as the most kind, inclusive, and progressive of all nations, and apparently that means immigrant women for whom English is a second language, working out of their homes, often with young children present in the home, are obligated to touch a man's genitals if he makes an appointment. To Jay Cameron, the lawyer representing 3 women of JY, explained the following during the hearings. Now, I'm not going to go through all this. Personally, I don't think that it is a useful tactic to say a woman shouldn't touch a man's junk. I don't think anybody should have to touch anyone's junk if they don't want to. If someone who is cis female is monstrously fat or has a gross, disgusting vagina that reeks and is going to stink up your workplace, you should be able to deny that person too. Or if you are a person who only works on dicks and somebody has a disgusting Prince Albert and it's all gross and hairy and stinky, and you're like, gross, get that thing out of my face. I think you should be allowed to do that too. Because think about it. You should be able to deny service from someone who is obviously disturbed, gross, or otherwise makes you uncomfortable to do business with. You should be able to deny service to that person, especially if it's not a life-saving service or a critical function like a bank account or a utility. Something like getting your balls waxed? I mean, come on. How hard would you have to look to find somebody to wax your balls? Seriously. It can't be that hard in a major city. Moving on with the article, though. No matter. In progressive Canada, litigious men who claim to menstruate wonder about how to help young girls insert tampons in the women's washroom and believe immigrants aren't the cleanest of people, are the most marginalized of all, and their desires usurp the safety and comfort of all women and girls. Indeed, this is precisely what feminists tried to warn politicians, the media, activists, and the public would happen should we accept the notion that it is possible for men to simply identify and then become female. How can we possibly protect women's boundaries, spaces, and rights if men can be women, regardless of biology? I think that she makes an excellent point in this article. It's a very good and poignant I told you so article, and I think you should read it. So I wanted to make a video just to talk about, hey, we can say JY's name again. You can go and read about him, her, whatever you want to identify this person as. Talk about it all you want. Rose of Dawn did a good... I don't know if it was her This Week in Trans Stupid, I'm not sure, but Rose talked about this on a video she made today, and it inspired me to talk about it. I really like Rose. I think she's fun, so I wanted to do a quick video about this too. And now that I've read so much about JY today, blah! I think that that's going to be the impetus for my Unit Corner Club. It's probably going to be a rant this week, to be honest, because I've just had it up to here with this bullshit. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you Friday.